Am I the asshole? For telling my SIL she's the reason her kids are losers and don't get invited to anything? So I have a son who's in the 7th grade now. My husband's sister, my SIL, Kelly 40SF, also has 2 twin boys. All 3 of our boys are in the same grade at the same school. My son is very kind and overall an extroverted kid who's involved in lots of extracurriculars, so he has been making lots of new friends and is getting invited to a lot of the other boys' events and whatnot. To put it bluntly, Kelly's sons are obnoxious and entitled. This is because of her behavior. She's absolutely obsessed with them and has no life outside of being a helicopter parent. For example, one of my nephews had a crush on a girl at school, and when the girl's mom jokingly brought it up to Kelly, she freaked out saying the girl is kinda weird, so her son obviously wouldn't have a crush on a girl like that. Who bullies a 12-year-old girl or her mother? She has raised her boys to think they're above all the other kids, and they definitely act that way, even towards my own son, their cousin. Naturally, her boys are not getting invited to much, and a lot of the mom groups of the boys in their grade aren't including her. So she has just been inviting herself to events she hears of with the boys. Last week, there was a B-Day party for a girl in our kiddos class that Kelly's sons weren't invited to, but she just dropped them off at B-Day party and left without even checking in with the B-Day girl's family. The girl's mom called me asking me to speak to Kelly BC. A lot of the moms are absolutely sick of her inviting herself and her boys to things. So when I talked to her, she immediately flipped the script, calling me an enabler of the other mom's exclusion and bullying towards her and her boys. Basically accusing me of having an agenda to make her boys seem like losers for not being invited so that my son has more friends. I just told her that if her kids are losers, it's because she raised them to be entitled and mean, and it reflects directly from how she treats the other mothers. Now my Mill is calling me saying I should be vouching for my nephews to join my son's friend group because family and all that BS. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but from this point on, you need to remove yourself from the situation. The other moms used you because of your familial connection, but that wasn't their place or yours. Not the asshole. You didn't tell her kids they're losers. You said they act like entitled kids and they're getting excluded because of their attitudes. Assuming your OP is correct and they're obnoxious, I don't think the comment was out of line. And damn, your SIL sounds awful. She's doing her kids dirty teaching them that behavior is okay. Not the asshole. The Mill can butt out and educate her own daughter. You are only responsible for your child. Anything else is up to other parties to sort out amongst themselves. Not the asshole. Given everything you've said, it's definitely true and her fault that the twins are like that. Mill can teach her daughter and her twin grandsons right from wrong, if she's that serious. Also, her taking the boys to a party they're not invited to and driving off is dumb. Technically, that would make her and the boys trespassers. They weren't invited. Next time, don't get involved, but not the asshole regardless. Not the asshole, but it shouldn't have fallen to you to speak to her on behalf of the other parents just because you're family. Each parent should stand up to her at each instance. I cannot imagine having the audacity to drop your kids off, uninvited, and not even tell anyone they're there. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Those twins are going to grow to hate their mother for sabotaging any hope of them building friendships with other kids. You are only responsible for your son, and it's not fair for you or your son to be expected to mediate any mess your SIL is making. Might be a good idea to ask the school to keep your son out of their class if possible. Not the asshole. Have your husband deal with his sister and his mother like WTF, who just drops their son off a B-Day party they weren't even invited to. If the facts aren't on your side, pound the law. If the law isn't on your side, pound the facts. If the facts and law aren't on your side, pound the table. Prayer is the last refuge of a scoundrel. Do it because you're family. Yeah, the three fit together nicely. Not the asshole. Natahu just drops off their uninvited kids to a party and leaves. WTH. Not the asshole. She sounds utterly exhausting and I'm not surprised all the other moms are sick of her crap. Just stand your ground with her and your mill. Does your mill even know the extent of it? Or just whatever edited version her daughter is spinning? Not the asshole. It's not your fault her kids are brats. That responsibility lies with her and their father. Not the asshole. The other parents need to stick up for themselves and their kids. SIL isn't your responsibility. Not the asshole. Imagine the cojones it would take to drop two kids off to a birthday party they weren't invited to. Oh my. Nata. The nephews need to make their own relationships. If they were shy I could see asking your son to help, but if they are ruining their own relationships your son shouldn't ruin his own by attempting to force the nephews into them. If the nephews worked on their attitude and then wanted a reintroduction, maybe then it would be possible, but that is on SIL and nephews to improve. Not the asshole. But where are the fathers in all of this? Not the asshole. It sucks you're in the middle, but you are certainly not wrong for letting her know how she and her sons are perceived. No, you aren't. The other moms shouldn't be putting this on you either. They should call her immediately and tell her no. Her kids can sit by the door and wait for her. If they don't want to get along with their peers, everyone else shouldn't be forced to enable any of them. Mom and sons both, your mill may be a part of the problem also. Good luck to you, crossed fingers. Did the other mom call you because they didn't have Kelly's contact info? That's the only reason to ask you to handle it. Otherwise, why is it your problem? Beyond, sure, here's her phone number, it's not your problem. You shouldn't have been put in the position of talking to her about this. Those other moms have voices, they can use them. Not the asshole. Not the asshole for telling your SIL the truth, and I'd probably suggest the other moms tell her themselves if they disagree with her choices instead of getting you involved. No need to create unnecessary drama for yourself. Not the asshole. Clearly, your SIL didn't learn from her other how to make friends, and that's being passed down to her twin sons. Boys who are 12 can't have mama and grandma vouch for them to get them included with the other kids. You have to be nice to people to make friends. You have to be humble. You have to take a genuine interest in others and not just yourself. I feel sorry for your SIL. She's being left out and just doesn't get it. Not the asshole people who force weird cousins' siblings into their friend group stop getting invited themselves. If some woman dropped uninvited kids off at my party, they would either be picked up within 10 minutes or the cops would be involved. You do not get to drop your children off where they are intentionally uninvited. Not the asshole, but keep your distance. Right now you're in the middle of a situation that shouldn't be your business. Not the asshole. My God, if I would text her and say she had 15 minutes to come back or I was dropping them back off at her house, and if she didn't respond I would be filing a report with the school and police. I get the boys are brats, but that is clearly due to her. I wouldn't traumatize them by calling the cops to the party. Just a call after the fact would do the trick, and get your point across, as they would be required to follow up with her. I would handle removing them from the party the same way. A simple "your mother called, there's an emergency and she asked me to drive you home," or to grandma since she thinks what mom did is no big deal. The poor boys. Imaging being dropped off at a party where you are not wanted. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You were honest. But why put yourself in the middle as a messenger? Step out as you are starting to become associated with the behavior. Not the asshole. Her kids deserve to know and understand what's happening, and there's likely still hope for them. If there's a way for you to reach them, and you have the capacity for that, you'd be doing them a real solid. As far as Kelly goes, I'd say she's delusional, but I'm pretty sure she knows at least a little why they're all being excluded. If she won't listen to you, you've done what you can, but maybe hearing the uncoated truth will actually help her see it.